8 handicap, looking to improve ball striking by fixing the wrist angles up at the top and also having a slightly steeper angle of attack down to, again, help compress the ball. So usually those are better suited from the face-on view. We're starting down the line to talk about the positives in your swing. So with the path line up, you may want to reduce knee flex slightly and stand up in the upper body to get rid of that little roundedness in the upper back. A feeling as though you're pinching your shoulder blades back together is another great way to get rid of that little hump in the back of your posture. So with the path line up, let's see where this takeaway is going to go. Slightly to the inside with the face angle square to closed. A little early tuck of that right elbow is what keeps things flat and behind you. And as you keep rotating, you manage to get a good coil of your lower body even while retaining the knee flex that you have. But your issue, as you stated in the comments, is that you don't have control of the club up at the top of your swing, which it does look like your right hand has completely come off the club, overhinging that club past parallel, and that's a major reason why that club face might get open as well. But transitioning past that, even though the swing is long, you do manage to drop the hands back down close to the path line, getting that club to stay inside of that. And the face really, doesn't look too bad, as this swing was a decent strike and it looks like a draw on the simulator there. So, like I said, just your wrist angles and maybe a little bit more of an upright takeaway to help set that path and get you not so far stuck to the inside. But more of the content, as I said, is going to be shown from this face-on view, where some things may be clear and obvious. First, begin by widening your stance. Keep the square back foot and continue to maybe flare that left toe open a bit, but unless it's a green side chip shot, you should never be this narrow in the stance. Secondly, which I think will be more effective, is to promote more forward shaft lean from setup. That should get rid of this cup in the left wrist, and that's a great way to work on short swings with the hands forward. Try not to cup the left wrist at all as you take the club back, keeping it flat and taking very short swings, trying to come down and compress the ball. But again, we see the theme of your backswing getting a little long and getting a little overhinged from both the elbow and the wrist angles. Your grip didn't look too bad from the start, but looking up at the top, your left thumb is almost all the way down in the palm of your right hand, which would give that appearance of your right hand, again, coming off the club at the top, opening the face. But back up one more time. If you can get those hands more forward from your setup position, your shoulder tilt would be more appropriate behind the ball, getting your head behind the ball as well, and stop this slight reverse pivot from happening up at the top. That is when your head is too close to the target relative to your hips or leaning over. Major reason why that club can be casted or thrown from the top, being an upper body oriented downswing and not really having the hips be the engine of the golf swing on the way down. So again, a couple quick changes, a lot from setup there, giving you a tour comparison about those setup changes. This is Adam Scott with a wedge. Now it's likely a fuller wedge, it's not a chip shot, but you can see that he's got at least a shoulder width stance with those feet. The handle is pressed forward, although he still has a slight little cup in that left wrist angle. We know that that's going to be flat up toward the top. Length of backswing is not much beyond its P3 position with this short club, and see how you can't really see that left thumb extruding into the right hand? That's better connection of the grip and should promote better club face control. But lastly, head behind the ball. Shoulder tilt is allowing him to keep that head behind the ball, drive the hips forward, and then with proper wrist angles and proper lower body movement initiating the downswing, the lag or forward shaft lean compression into strike is something that happens as a result of proper body mechanics, not so much you trying to force the issue with your hands coming in more forward. So hopefully you can pick at a thing or two there and start improving, but good news is a lot of it is setup issues for you, and then use your athleticism to try to make a similar pass at the ball with more of your lower body and a little bit less of your hands down at impact. Good luck. Sendaswing.com